watching anyone. Hey guys, here live with my friend Martin Espino. We're in the LBC in Long Beach, and we're doing this interesting format, doing a social distancing interview in person. So we're outside, and now I'm Laura Jane, and I'm going to bring in Martin, and he has the tape measure, and we're going to invite him to his seat. But yeah, and we've actually invited Martin to start with playing one of his native instruments that he's made and is an expert in playing and teaching about how to use and play as sound work and healing as well. So he's going to come on in now, and I'm going to step aside and just pop in and talk to you.
We want to make sure we're doing this right, okay? So,
Yeah.
and when I'm talking, I'm going to have to take off my mask, even though I enunciate very good. We're being a little silly. Of course, I am. This is my idea. But this is how I teach. There you go. It's a little 6 feet. Okay. If I get past 6 feet, I might not live. Okay.
Oh no, we're wanting to be careful and
Yes, we're
honor
just doing the
the
proper thing. Okay,
Right.
and there we go. Now y'all know. So you don't have to go, I wonder if he's 6 feet.
Yes, and I'm still right here. So, yeah, Martin's going to choose one of his instruments to start with that he's feeling inspired.
I'm going to play an actual shaman's instrument, not something that we were told is a shaman instrument. This is. It's a very ancient instrument from all over the world, which is leads into many lessons that we'll talk about, commonality as opposed to diversity. So here's a gourd. I cut them and I paint them with natural pigment paints. I make the paints just like the ancestors did. And these paints are actually common throughout the world too. So there's another commonality. Bow and arrow. Gee, I wonder where that comes from. Nobody knows, but let me play for you. This is the actual shaman song from the state of Durango, where my family's from, in Mexico. Play it like this. Customary to play it with 1 or 2 arrows. Somebody realized that if you put it on top of a hollow object, gee, I wonder why the guitar has a hole in it. Interesting. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, Thank you. So the hunting bow, food for our sustenance to stay alive. The gourd, which is known as a symbol of water, to carry water, and you need the water to drink. And there you go, a lot of symbolisms there.
Did you make all of those pieces,
This
Martin?
was made by Patrick Blank up in I forget where he's at. But it's actually a deer sinew made of deer skin, because I wanted it totally authentic. This is orange wood, and this is made after a longbow style. Yeah.
And this is the kind of thing you would bring when you go and
Yeah, I bring
teach
everything.
and
I
share.
bring a whole.
Because Martin, at least when the schools were open and the libraries and museums, he travels and does presentations for groups of adults and children and
Yeah, I make
performances.
instruments and workshops and stuff like that, and go do talks. Now things have turned around. I'm doing things online. I did a soundtrack for Oaxaca, California. It's one word, for the Long Beach Museum of Latin Art. And so when you see that video, you'll see it. You can see it on my website and on YouTube, martinespino.com. But I'll give it to you later. But anyway, you can see that there, stuff like that. I'm doing a movie for a veteran Chicano actor, Pepe Serna. You've seen him in a lot of movies. Don't know his name usually. Stuff like that. It's really nice.
Well, and what's so cool about you, Martin, because Martin and I met at a coffee shop nearby. We're so lucky we live near each other. And we started talking about things like meditation and yoga, because Martin also, as a young child growing up in South Central LA, happened upon Eastern teachings and things like Alan Watts, and started doing things like meditation as a young Latino
I was only 11,
growing up
you know. Yeah.
in the hood.
Yeah,
Right?
81st and Holmes.
81st and Holmes.
But I never, you know, like I told you, I never told anybody that I was doing it. And it's not that I wasn't embarrassed. It just, I was that kind of kid that, well, I don't need to talk about it. You know? And my mother, and now that I think of it, when I tell these stories, as I tell these stories over again, because I've been meditating since I was 11, you know, with these same techniques I learned on that show. It was called Yanaki. It was on Channel 28. And all they would do was chant. And they would never explain what they were doing. They would just say, relax your feet, relax your legs, your knees, your thighs, your stomach, your heart, and let it come up to your breath. And I thought, I did that for years. I go, this is kind of weird, but hey, that feels pretty good. You know, and my mother never came in the room. ¿Qué estás haciendo? What are you doing? Hey, turn that stuff off. They just saw me there and they go, okay. They left me there. Now that I think of it, my mother and father never asked me one question about that. They must have, I know they were parents. They were listening to what I was listening to.
And then at what point did you start playing music?
When I was 4 or 5, I saw these guys sitting on top of a big pole. Some of you might have seen it. It's called Los Voladores de Panpantla. And those are the flyers. And they go up on a really, like a telephone, literally almost as high as a telephone pole. And they'll stand up on top and on 2 feet. And they're playing a flute, a little high-pitched flute. And they're playing the drum like this, you know. Like that. And then they have 4 guys that climb up and they jump off and they bungee. So you see these 4 guys spinning around in the air. As they unbungee, they get close to the ground. So it's an ancient ritual. No one knows what it means, but it's called the Flyers of Panpantla, which is a town in Mexico. And I saw that, and I saw that flute, and I always wanted it. And my dad said, "Oh, one day we'll go to Mexico and get you one," and we never went. And since I was 3. First thing I drew was a flying saucer, my brother says. And yeah, I drew it really good. He says, ever since then, I've been an artist. So I was always checking out books on Mayan sculpture. And no one ever said, you're Mexican, you should go check that out. Something about it drew it to me when I went to the art section. So I used to check those all the time and copy the murals, you know. And I didn't know it. My mother never said, oh, that's good, you're doing Mexican stuff. You just somehow I had a connection to my ancestors, you know, and I just was drawn to it. I liked the way it looked. I never said, oh, that's Mexican, I think I like that. You know, oh, that's sacred, spiritual. I didn't think that way. I didn't think that way about the yoga either, the meditation. It was just natural. You know? I'm glad I did that when I was young, when I wasn't thinking about it, you know. Yeah, I mean, if you're older and some of you out there are going, yeah, I think I should start doing it. It's good to still do it, because at least you do it. One word I learned really good was intention. If you have intention, then you could do anything, you know, and it applies to your life right away.
And I love how it reminds me, you are such an artist in so many ways with like these flutes. Will you show a little bit of these flutes that you create?
These are all things that I made. These are
and these gourds. These are all these instruments that
gourds are symbols
Martin
of water.
designs and plays.
And it's the low one.
So you completely, you work with that one, you worked with the gourd. And
then, I cleaned them up, cut them, cleaned them out, put them together.
And that's a flute of sorts right there?
Yeah, there's 2 kinds of flutes.
Okay.
There's cylindrical flutes and there's spherical flutes. Which are the ocarinas. So check them out. And this is another piece of gourd that I glued on.
How many holes are on that?
2 here and 1 to blow, 1 to blow, and 4 over here.
Okay.
So I get 5 notes.
And he's going to play it for us.
That one, 5 notes. Sounds great when you have a nice mic, you know, and
sounds.
Yeah,
wow.
People are meditating, and low sounds make people feel real good.
Yes.
High sounds put you in states of high alertness, and that's why people go, whoa, and when they hear it, sometimes this little clay hummingbird that
And
I
you
made.
made that one?
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's in the shape of a hummingbird. It's
Yeah,
so beautiful,
yeah.
and it's all painted, and it's an actual little flute.
Yeah, and painted it with natural pigment paints that are common to all of us, like the gourd. I'll be making a bunch of these pretty soon.
How
but
cool is that?
Not quite now.
And
So
you
yeah,
know,
this is-
I love how, Martin, when you go to work with the children and the adults, when we're not in social distancing
Yeah.
mode, Martin brings instruments so that people can actually play, because he is so into helping people actually get into, well, I see that he's into helping people play music through these native instruments. So yeah, some more flutes.
yeah,
Show
so
us, please.
this is the one that I usually some people
Oh,
work
and this one you like burn and
it. Yeah, I
engrave?
engrave it and then I burn it, and it's got 4 holes. See, this finger, that finger, easy, right? And you don't blow it, like you exhale, where you don't hear the breath. So you don't need any breath at all. That's it, easy. And then I build these little ones in schools or with, adults and kids.
Oh yeah, so
It's
you
the same
help
thing.
people make
2
instruments
fingers
too.
there,
Yeah.
2 fingers there. We get the bamboo, we sand it and prepare it, clean the inside, we sanitize it, and then I do a simple art lesson on the 7 designs of art, and then we apply the art on there, and whammo, you got something of your own. Huh? So I've made, since 1990, when I began making instruments, I made about 60,000, 70,000 instruments since
Oh my
then.
gosh.
Yeah, most of them are kids.
And this big gourd like one, is that
Yeah,
what do you
the
do
big-
with that one? Oh, I wish I could help you, but I'd infringe on our 6 feet.
Don't get it. Don't get it. Okay,
I
this
hope
is a
you're
gourd.
enjoying this format, whoever's watching
Yeah,
this.
this is a gourd again. And
This is a gourd
gourds
that
are-
you've painted with these amazing designs.
Right,
Oh my
gourds
gosh.
are very thin, so it's like a room that has a cardboard wall. You could hear everything going on in the next room, which also makes them really delicate. And then they sound like water a lot. I do special things to make them sound that way.
Yeah, like what?
Can't tell you.
Oh, it's the magic. Summon the magic.
I'll tell you later.
That'll be on another video.
Yeah.
So rain sticks, and yeah, Martin helps people make instruments too.
Yeah, we
which
make
is
these in
amazing.
workshops. And I'm going to be doing some social distancing workshops. Some idea just came up. Big Jane thought of this one, and that I take the instrument parts and we sit 6 feet apart, maybe outside in the park, like out here.
Yeah.
Which we could do out here, but we can't do it here. But like in a park, and then stay 6 feet apart, and we have the materials. And I don't need to be next to you when you do it. I'll just show you. And everybody wear plastic gloves. And,
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so we'll be doing something like
Yes,
that.
we're excited. And actually, yeah, Martin and I are plotting some things together with meditation and sound work, because really, so many people are interested in sound work these days and going to sound baths, right? And whether you want to receive it or you want to learn about it. Well, Martin, turns out he's a local expert on sound work, and especially like native understanding and uses and wisdoms and traditions and instruments that do that for us. So I'm excited to be learning with him and to help you learn with him more too. And now he's got a drum that he's made.
Yeah, it's one of the drums I made. Real simple material. Real simple material. I won't tell you what it is because you have to talk to me, okay? This is what we're thinking of doing. This is not a real drum skin. But listen how it sounds. Nice, huh? 3-hour workshop. So that's the kind of things we're doing, and the flute making workshop is 2 hours, and the rain stick making workshop's 3 hours, and we could do some kind of social distancing thing to
Yes.
it,
And
Albeit smaller than
Martin and I have a lot of fun talking about how much we now know the power of sound, right, for healing and helping us feel better emotionally and physically. And especially now, while so many of us have been through so much, right, and are feeling a lot of stress and tension and wanting to take care of our health, sound and sound work is really like one of the new uprising, even though it's something that's been around since ancient times, right? That's the thing, right, Martin?
Yeah.
We're coming back to something that humans have always done and we've just like forgotten to use. I can see.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I can say on this whole sound
please.
healing thing.
Yeah. Will you say some on that now?
One of the things I like to say about sound work, I call it sound work. I like what Joshua Leeds wrote a really great book called The Power of Sound. And I think that's the most easiest one to read. There's other ones, and you can always welcome to ask me about it. But that's a real easy read. And I started going, I don't want to call myself a sound healer. I know if I do, then I'll be in the monetary bracket, which is, and it's also a healing. Okay, don't get me wrong. It's a healing modality, but it's also a name that puts you in a monetary bracket. Oh, I could charge $300, or whatever. I'm just saying it becomes a name of a job, like truck driver, or waitress or whatever. And in this case, sound healer, and it's a great title. But the problem that I have with it is that not everybody needs healing. But yet you see people who are totally fine, they're feeling good, and you play a sound and they start relaxing, and I go, what everybody needs to do is we need to know how to shut off the noise, which is what meditation does. Like Alan Watts says, what we have to do is learn to shut up, just turn off the noise. And music is one, you guys already do it out there, you guys, girls, even your kids. I always ask my kids, we talk about how the brain functions, how we need to relax and feel good so we can get our schoolwork done, so we can have our relationship well at home, things like that, relate to our kids, focus on the taxes or whatever. You have to be able to focus, and focus is a tough thing, and meditation helps with it, and listening to music and sound. So these are some of the things you could do. Find yourself music that really relaxes you. It's already been proven scientifically that it chills you out. When you meditate and you do the regular breathing, you're not just doing breathing. And by the way, meditation is not religion. It's calming yourself down. That's all you got to do. That's what it is. It's a technique of calming yourself down. And then in the long run, you get better. You never meditate to go, well, if I meditate, I'll get better. Don't think of that. You think, I gotta exercise, I gotta eat good, I gotta meditate. They're all in that same bag. You do that, and then you find, hey, I suddenly feel better. You wonder why. Maybe because you're eating good, sleeping longer, and maybe chilling yourself out and turning the noise off. And sound work helps you do that. Like I ask my kids, I go, how many of you guys ever go home and go, I had a really hard day, I think I'll put some music on to make me feel really, really good. And the kids go like that, right? And these are my, second, third, even my kinders do it. And I go, and I talk to them about neuroscience, they understand it, And I say, well, let me rephrase that. Let me say it what your brain is really saying. Wow, I had a really tough day, had trouble concentrating, even felt sad today. And I'm gonna put on some sound. And it's sounds that I know, my brain knows, that will calm me down and control me. Yes, sound controls you. You can put on relaxing sounds, and when you relax, you're basically going, I give up, I put my holster on the side, I put my badge on the table, and I close my eyes, and all of a sudden the music, sounds take us somewhere. And you're done, and you go, wow, I feel relaxed. So these are things they're not just like, well, I do it every day. These are things it's part of the human condition. Music and sound and reacting to sound is part of human condition. Like if I play the rain stick and don't tell you, and I start playing for it long enough, I tell you to close your eyes, I will chill you out. You will get chilled out.
So you don't even have to try.
Yeah, if I tell people before, they're gonna go, well, I don't feel relaxed yet. We start analyzing. If I play these low flutes or get my low drums and start playing them, there's certain techniques I do. It's not just, you got to realize too about sound work. That's why I call myself a sound worker. I don't really sound heal. If you're injured, definitely you're going to feel healed. But if you're well, then you're doing the proactive. So that's my new word I've been doing. Proactive sound work and healing sound work. And that's why I like the word sound worker a lot better. Yeah, it covers everything. Because not everybody needs, we all need some kind of healing somewhere, right? There's something we need, something we're lacking. But we're not all injured. Or we're not all that badly injured. And there's some of us that are. And sound will hit us anyway. Sound will affect you anyway. No matter if you're already happy and totally content, it's still going to chill you out. We're made to do that.
So maybe it's limiting to call it sound healing.
Yeah, I think it's very, very limiting.
Because if people think they don't need healing, they maybe wouldn't let themselves experience it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And maybe it puts people a little bit in a victim mode if they're focusing on how much they need healing.
Yeah.
A little bit of that.
Or if
too.
I go, people know that maybe they're gonna know that I need sound healing. You know. I don't know. The other one I heard recently is I don't want to use the word. Somebody said to me, I don't want to use the word meditation. I don't want to use the word yoga. I don't want to use sound healing. And I go, well, why? I said, why? I go, because people think that we're all going, you know, and they make fun of it. And I go, well, those are incredible sounds. We have to learn what they are first before you get silly about it. You know, those are powerful things. Anyway, that's the whole thing. Sound healing. That sound worker. I do sound work, and it's for proactive reasons and for healing reasons. And the proactive means, you know, I get you before you get sick. Yeah.
Yes, right? And that's what's so beautiful about even just someone taking in a performance, right? Or listening to a song, is it's doing some of that for them.
Now the next
whether
thing
they know it or not.
I don't have to play gongs and temple bells and crystal bowls. You're being fed. That's what sound work is. And if you do, I've gotten the eye before. Don't you have the gong? I go, no. I use rain sticks and bow and what do you call it? Tawito, which is the hunting bow. I use big water drums floating in water. I use low octave. I use the instruments from my culture.
Yes.
And it made me start thinking, everybody's got the same things. And a lot of people have, well, most of us have the same 4 instruments: voice, string, winds, and percussion. Oh, they also have high ones and low ones. And all the instruments are always in families. Isn't that a wonderful commonality? Across the world. Little rattle, big rattle. Little flute, big flute. Little voice, lower voice. It's a family. The universe sends us a message all the time saying, wake up, you're part of a family.
Yes, I do love that in hanging out with you, that you seem to have such a sense of, like, I want to say unity, and you often are bringing up that kind of message, even in like funny ways. And
well, it's all that meditation I did, and then when I was much younger, and even still now, I was always out in nature. You know, I was always out looking at things and catching frogs and returning them, and you know, and raising them at home and returning them, and you know, things like that. Yeah, we definitely do need sound. Just like you need a good diet, just like you need to keep your heart at a high pace at sometimes, you need good sleep. Don't think that it's only for musicians, it's for everybody. But I do want to stress that the sound healing thing, I'm glad that people are using all these instruments, but you know, every culture has their own sound healing instruments. You know,
yes.
It's not all Tibetan bowls and gongs. And all, those are great. I love those. As a matter of fact, I want to work with somebody who can play those, and I'll play mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have some friends I could hook you up with.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah, so.
Wow.
What you else want to ask me?
Well, I know this does feel like this could be coming to a good pause, and we'll be back with more in future times. I don't know. I mean, is there anything that you feel like you want to say, especially in regards to how, you know, people might right now be feeling extra stressed?
Yeah, I think, I know what I was going to say. When you practice the breathing for meditation, let's say you don't have...
Oh, yes.
And meditation could be 1 minute, but I'd say at least 10. Sit there and do this old thing I did a long time ago. Relax the feet, the ankles, the legs. This is an old one. The knees, the thighs, the tummy. Keep it cushion. Don't relax the heart too much. And then relax your arms and everything. Okay? Because your brain might go, somebody might see me, or whatever. In other words, don't analyze it. It goes straight from the heart, and then from the heart, let it go out your breath. And when you do the regular breathing, it's understood medically and physiologically. I'm still studying this stuff because I like the science proof of it. I don't like that you're channeling aliens from the Pleiadian astroscope, you know, and they'll lower
You're
your
not
blood
as into
pressure.
that.
You know, okay, that's fine. Let me meet them and then I'll believe it. But meanwhile, you know, the proof is that helps your parasympathetic nerve system and the breathing regulates your stress level or something like that, and it lowers it. I'm still studying it, but all that, in other words, the breathing helps chill you out. Even if you sit there and go like this, you don't have to be in a position. Martin, I can't sit with my legs crossed. Then sit down. I can't sit down for long. Then lay down.
Right.
Just do something where you're immobile. And just sit and start some breathing. And don't think I got to do the bills. Just think of the breathing. And if you think of the breathing, it's never 1, 2, 3, 4. It's always in 1, 1, 1, 1. It goes on forever. You go to sleep, it still goes on. Yeah.
Well, and I love how you were bringing up how wind instruments, like when you play a flute, is such a form of breath meditation, and really how it's a way people tap into their breath in a different, better way.
Yeah. And then when you exhale, of course, all the plants are going, yo, thanks for the carbon dioxide, man.
It's part of our connection.
Yeah, so all these things, breathe, meditate, chill out 5 minutes. You know, when something starts bothering you, then sit and do it. Try it, you know. Instead of going, I'll have another glass of wine. No, sit down and relax, baby. And the other one is put on music that relaxes you. Make yourself a playlist of your favorite stuff and play it. I find music or sounds with very long and low tones are very relaxing. That's medically and neurologically proven. Stuff like that, those 3 things.
Yes.
Yeah,
Would you be willing to play one more, something that you have near you?
Yeah, sure.
At the end here? It's so amazing.
So I'm going to play this little...
I see we have some comments.
Are you still on?
Oh, I would just see we have some comments.
Oh, thank you. Okay, we'll read them later, I guess. I'm going to play this little clay flute. And I got to thank
This
Anita
is another
Sinclair.
one that you made?
Yeah, I got to thank Anita Sinclair's the master ceramist over at Bixby Park here in the LBC. And I knew how to do these things, but she showed me how to work clay, how it behaves. Check it out. Thank you.
I love how it brings me so present and quietly. It's just probably the easiest way to meditate is to listen to music, especially like
music
that.
with beats
Yeah.
cause your brain to go, uh-oh, I know where the next beat is. So your brain starts focusing on that. I like the music that just has no beats and real floaty. You might want to look up ambient music on Pandora.
So something without beats
Yeah,
can
without
be more
beats
relaxing sometimes.
causes your brain to go, what do I listen to? Just listen. Like I tell my kids this, just listen to the sounds. And you start being taken away.
Yeah.
So the breathing and music with no beats, lower tones, eating good, no fried stuff, take care of yourself. And
except fries,
blessings
of course.
to you. Thank you.
All right, and
Thank you,
Martin, will you remind how they can find you if they're watching this, or
Yeah,
anything you want them to know at this point?
My name always gets spelled. It's spelled Martin, M-A-R-T-I-N. And so my website is Martin, M-A-R-T-I-N, and then E-S-P-I-N-O. So M-A-R-T-I-N-E-S-P-I-N-O. Nice 3 sounds. I like that.
And you had some good news just in the last 24 hours, right?
This morning got
so
note
exciting.
that
Because Martin's a composer.
Yeah, I'm a composer. I work with a filmmaker named Ivan Cordeiro from Brazil, and Ivan and I are old friends. And he did a movie, a short movie on me called Espinado, which means like spiked, where you got stuck by a spike. Espinado, ow! And so Espinado won Best Documentary at a film festival this morning. So yeah,
That's so cool. So
it's very, very cool. Yeah, and
Your
you can see me at that website,
double rock star day.
martinespino.com. And Facebook is the same thing. Facebook it's Martin Espino Music. At YouTube it's the same thing, Martin Espino Music. That's the handle at the end. And I want to thank LJ and Long Beach for its reception all the time here. I'm originally from South Central, 81st and Holmes, and grew up during the Watts riots and saw a lot of things, and right in the middle of it, it was a lot different. And I just, we're all involved in this now. It's not just like, oh, look what's happening in that part of town. Now it's everywhere. It's global. Yeah, I think that tells us that justice is global. Yeah, it's not. It goes past opinion or past somebody's feeling about. I don't know. I just hope you all take care of yourselves and take a deep breath. The breath is important.
Thank you so much, Martin.
Thank you. We'll see ya.
I'm thinking I can
Get
on for a moment here. And yeah, thank you for being here with us in our format. And I had fun being on the sidelines for that and loving sharing friends like Martin with you. So thanks for being here, you all. Have a good day out there. Namaste.